Listeners don't know, but when you get in Dave's car, his steering wheel has been replaced with a control pad.
Just Dave gets into his car like Formula One cars where they get in and put the wheel on. Dave gets in, puts his little controller on.
When I'm going over,
have you ever been in a car with Dave?
Going over the speed bumps, I've got like the rumbles.
It's like, it's so realistic. Like,
this is sick, mate.
We're all in the back crying, holding on to the handles for dear life.
Is that petrol I smell?
Hey, guys, girls, gamers, nerds alike, and those who found the show by mistake. Welcome to From Dusty Couches to Broken Discs. I'm your host, Glenn, along with my co-host, Adam. He's just waving today. And my co-host, Big Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
We look at games old and new, from everything you have been playing to everything that you're playing today. Before we do start this week's episode, let's plug in that controller, spin that disc, and roll those intro credits.
whoop, 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 whoop.
I love it, guys. You're all excited. We're excited. Come on,
not.
look like you're there. Look live.
I know, yeah, we're not that.
I'm really not.
Don't be daft.
Before we do get into this week's episode, let's have a look at the guys and see how they're doing.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, good luck at the guys. Going straight to Adam. Adam, I'm not gonna lie, mate. You look better. How are you doing?
Yeah. It's been a tough week, but it's okay. It's getting through it. So I'm trying to be positive.
Weekend. Come on,
I moaned a little bit. I moaned a little bit too much in the last episode, so I'm trying to be a little bit more positive. Yeah, that's true.
Let's go to the man himself who moaned the most on last week's episode. It's Big Dave.
I'll be good today.
Tables are turning, Dave, because I know fuck all about this game. So,
you're just gonna shit all over.
Balls back in my court.
This week we're looking at Gran Turismo, the classic PlayStation 1 game. And Dave is our racing expert, so I'm going to go straight to Dave. Dave, memories of this game?
Why are you picking up like I'm a racing expert?
You're the one who goes, I love racing games.
I like the odd racing game, but I won't call myself a freaking expert.
Well,
I mean...
You're the Dusty Couches expert for racing
fair
games.
enough.
It's about
My
the only
expert.
thing he's an expert in.
You know slightly more than us.
Yeah, fair point.
We're in tune with these things.
With Gran Turismo, the first game I played, to be honest, was on the PlayStation 2. When I first bought my PlayStation 2, it was the game that came with it. So it was Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. Yeah. Absolutely loved the game. It was so good. So good. I mean, it was one of them where I think at the time, obviously, it really... Obviously, being obsessed with like racing games and stuff at the time, I was always looking for something new, and this was so shiny. I mean, I don't know why they made the car so friggin' shiny and so realistic looking. It was
sort of like your head in the light, you know.
It's glistening right now. But
Dave just really wanted to get into character for this week's episode.
Well, that's why I needed the cap so I didn't blind myself.
Because you got those high beams on.
But no, it was.
We don't want to scorch the viewers' retinas, you know.
That's it. Yeah.
It was just so epic though, because like the amount of realism that was in the game was immense.
It's the thing that like these games have prided themselves on, isn't it? It's
exactly.
It looks so realistic.
Exactly, and I mean with they've got the license system as well in the games, where obviously you've got to pass get your license and do your tests to actually get to the next, like races and things like that and progress. Yeah. And I mean that was just something. It was just so cool at the time.
I think I said to you guys when we decided that we were going to do this episode, the thing I liked about Gran Turismo is it wasn't all about just going fast. It
Exactly.
was about learning the car, learning
Yeah, it
how
really
to
was.
brake.
It really
was
was.
like learning to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most racing games, it is literally how hard can you hit the accelerator and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have...
I don't care about braking around corners. I'm just going to keep going as fast as I can go. This was completely different. It was a whole new ball game.
Exactly. Oh god.
Adam, what about you? Any memories?
To be honest, this was another one of those games that I never personally owned. I only ever played it like at a friend's house. And I'm going to kind of contradict myself a little bit here because I know I said in arcades, like racing games, in the arcade episode, racing games are like my favourite, but that's when I'm in an arcade and I can get inside the car and use the steering wheel and the pedals.
Yeah.
But when I'm at home on a console, it's probably because I'm fucking shit at 'em. But I don't really...
right with the world. Last week he said he was actually quite good at Tony Hawk's. Now he's telling us that he's shit at Gran Turismo.
I'm shit
balance
at...
restored. Balance restored.
I know, yeah, I was getting worried for a minute.
I should have took you down a different path then, shouldn't I? I am fucking amazing at this game. But,
yeah, you know the Gran Turismo Academy? I was in it.
I was on the cover, mate. Did you not see it? But no, so like when pure driving games, like I'm not even now, still now. Like I'm terrible at them. Like I think I've said it before. I just have no like I can't think of the word. You might have to cut this. What is the word?
Andy's broke.
What is the word?
You've had a brain fart.
It's
called a brain fart.
Oh my god.
You have no patience.
I have no patience, so I like to just go, like you were just saying then, where you just press the button and go.
You just want to go
as fast as you can. I just want to go fast. I'm like Sonic. Gotta go fast. Boom! Straight into a wall. So like I was more into games like Destruction Derby. And Micro Machines, and actually I liked V-Rally as well quite a lot of the time.
Yes.
I had a thing for rally stuff. Like I was doing a bit of like just having a look at PS1 games. I was trying to pull out the ones that I was playing on at the time, and almost all of them were actually rally games. I'm not sure why, because now I'm like I don't even touch rally games, so I don't know what my obsession was at the time. But I will agree with the fact that the graphics were beautiful on the game, and the realism in terms of the graphics was amazing. Like on the first one, I think it was the first game ever to use environmental mapping. So basically, when the car's driving around the streets, it would reflect the buildings, and it would perfectly reflect the light. So it wouldn't just be just a car on the thing and going through shades, which obviously they could do anywhere, but it would actually reflect what was happening in the background.
Yeah.
Which is quite impressive. And I think it was the first game as well to include like actual car animations. So rather than it just going forward and the wheels spinning, it would actually tilt as you go around corners and it would bounce as you went over obstacles.
Yeah, like the suspension and stuff. It was like active suspension.
Because I remember, I do remember, because like I said, I know I didn't own the game, but I played it in bits, and I do remember that you could customize like the suspension and stuff, and that would affect the amount of bounce that your car would do.
Yeah.
It was like they wanted to make it so realistic. I mean, that was because I think the guy who obviously created it, like one.
I have got his name. I've got his name.
Go on, go for it, Glenn.
I am gonna butcher his name because
I just can't remember.
Yamimucho or something like that. The developer, he's the guy who created the game. Who works for. So if I have butchered the name, I am really sorry. And if the guy is listening, I'm so sorry.
But I know obviously.
Sorry.
I know he's obviously he was obsessed with cars and things like that, and it's one of them. He wanted to make a game so realistic, like down to the slightest detail, like you say, like Adam touched on, like suspension, bloody. You could change the calipers on your tire. You know, just all literally to the slightest detail. And obviously, I know one of the issues they had with the games was where the getting licensing from the companies.
Yeah.
You know, from.
I was looking
like,
that up before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
they have so
cars
many
was
issues.
really
with,
issues with. Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, because there was such a wide list of cars that they had, I think I don't know if it was the first game when they had like about 180 different types of cars.
Yeah, it's been
I
ridiculous.
mean,
Yeah.
that's mad, especially like we
Ridiculous.
compare it to other games where they've got probably about six.
Yeah,
Six cars
exactly.
to choose from, and then they've just gone to like
Yeah.
108. It's like it's mad.
Yeah. And I forgot. I'm having a terrible time. I keep forgetting what I was going to say.
Yeah. If anybody wants to come on the show and replace Adam, because he's clearly broken, and we no longer have the warranty for him.
He is drawing a blank.
I wasn't at the start of the show, Dave. Glenn places in the clip right here.
To know what we're on about, check on our TikTok. So while Adam's thinking there and he's loading, so
I've completely lost my train of thought.
Please just put like a little loading, like
a loading wheel. Should I just keep like cutting Adam's footage like he's glitching?
Yeah.
Just like,
just keep putting in the do 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 do. That's every time he comes on.
I think my memory wise of the game was going back to the first Gran Turismo. Now, when I got my PlayStation, it was actually for my birthday. This was many years ago now. Got my PS1 and I got a collection of games. We've said it a few times. Some of the first games we've got, like Crash Bandicoot, Pandemonium, and I was actually thinking about it the other day. Do you guys remember Reloaded?
No.
No,
it rings a bell, but
there was. I think that Reloaded was the second one. I think the first one was called Loaded. There was Loaded and Reloaded. Was two games there. I had them as well, and I obviously had like Gran Turismo. So these are the games that I got when I first got my PlayStation, and I couldn't wait to play some of these games. You know, Gran Turismo wasn't a big race back in the day as a kid, but you know what? I thought I've played every one of my games. So let me try it out. I went to play it, and my mum was like, "Oh, this looks good," because I couldn't do one on the license. You know, you're a kid. Let's admit it. It was a difficult game. You know, it's not just. Again, it wasn't just a matter of getting in the car, pushing a button, and racing and getting to the end and finishing. You had to do all these different things to get the license, and I couldn't do it. And my mum took over and did it for me, and then kept playing, and kept playing, and kept playing, and kept playing, and going on and on. And she was doing all the license. I was like, "Hang on a minute, this is mine. I want to play this." By the time I actually got to play the game, which I'm pretty sure was like 3 weeks later, I was sick of seeing it. I hated it. Full on hated the game. Because it's a game
your mum was
I thought you were talking about your mum for a second.
Yeah. All I wanted to do was play this game, and my mum had ruined it for me. She'd literally taken all the joy of this game and just sapped it. And I was just like, I don't even want to play it anymore. And you know, it wasn't until a few years after that I got back and started playing it. And you know what? I was like, this is actually really good. I really like this game. And I think for the first time as well, while doing the research for our episodes, it's the first time I've been reading about it and looking up about it and going, I really want to play this again properly. You know, I really want to pick up a GT game and actually just play it. So I'm going to give a big shout out to our friends at Boomerang Rentals. Even though they're not supporting us yet, they will. They will support us on this show.
This is just sad now. This is
on
really
Boomerang
sad.
Rentals, I have got ready ordered for my delivery Gran Turismo 7 when it comes out on the PS5. Can't wait to give that a shot and see what it's like because it just looks so good.
Please notice us. Notice me.
Hello, Boomerang Rentals. We're here.
I mean, if you kind of just switched over to Xbox, you pretty much get all the games for free anyway.
Shush.
So, I don't know if GT are on it actually.
No, it wouldn't be. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
It's a PlayStation exclusive.
PlayStation exclusive. If you've done your research,
I don't play GT anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But
I'll go back to sleep now.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Another memory I've got of the Gran Turismo games. So I used to work at Blockbuster Games when it was open back in the day. Something that we can all relate to. We all went to Blockbuster. And
I never went to Blockbuster. What's Blockbuster?
fuck off.
Yeah, please
Go back
elaborate.
to sleep. I think was it number 5 that was out on the PS3?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, wait, no. Wasn't it 4?
No, because they're about to bring out number 7, aren't they?
Yeah. So no, yes. Gran Turismo 6
Mhm.
was on PS4 along with Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
So
got
this
that
was
one.
on the
I've got Gran
PS.
Turismo Sport.
Yeah, it was on the PS3 because I remember working at Blockbuster, and we had a few people. This was at the time it was about to launch, and bearing in mind we hadn't had a Gran Turismo game since the PS2, and I mean the PS3 was already like 5 years into its life cycle, and we'd not had a Gran Turismo game. And I remember these guys coming and going, "Oh, when's it coming out?" It was like, "Oh, we've got it in the back, but we're not allowed to launch it yet because we've been told a release date, and we can't release it until that day." And then someone said, "Oh, well, HMV is selling it right now." So obviously my manager heard this and was like, "Right, Glenn, take your work shirt off." I was like, "Whoa, hang on a minute. What's going on there?" You
Get those nipples out, Glenn!
Can't proposition me like
The
this.
guys need entertaining, Glenn!
Pretty sure I read this in the handbook. That's sexual harassment. So I had to like get my hoodie on and all sorts.
Just picturing Glenn in the middle of the floor with like DVDs and like popcorn and game rentals, like
crying as I'm taking my t-shirt off.
You don't need. Who needs Gran Turismo when you've got this?
And I had to go over to HMV to see if they started selling it yet. So I'm questioning the guy at the counter who could probably clearly see that I had no t-shirt on under my hoodie.
Just walking shirtless, like, "Hello, sir.
You, sir, do you have the new Gran Turismo? Does this help? Does this help for you? Do you like?
Well, if you wanted to make me sick, then yes, you've succeeded. Just end the episode right there.
That's it. We are done. That's all we know about Gran Turismo.
You can't top that one.
And I don't know. I don't even know what actually happened from that story. All I remember is going into HMV, them saying no, and that was it. And I never heard of it again. You know?
The guy quit that day.
Yeah, it's like I've seen it all, and Ashland line. I'm never going back there again.
I mean, I know you touched on it slightly in the beginning, Glenn. That Gran Turismo Academy. I mean, Adam, have you heard about that? It's like where they train up.
It was in partnership with Nissan, wasn't it?
With Nissan, and obviously, yeah. I mean, what was it? Polyphony.
Polyphony. Polyphony. Yeah.
Polyphony digital or something.
Yeah.
But like you say, they set up an academy, like a proper racing academy, for people who enjoyed the game to actually go on like track days, learn how to drive the cars properly.
Yeah, they did it
drive
all.
the cars properly. It was mad.
That's
And then at the end of it, they actually get to become like a reserve driver for Nissan. Like, you know, on proper racing, obviously proper
Didn't
racing.
The guy you?
I'm assuming the best one. It wasn't just anyone.
The best one. No.
Just call Bob. Bob will do. He'll do.
Bob's great.
And thus the Stig was born.
But I mean, it's a really good like obviously sales tactic, really, isn't it? Like, obviously you can actually go on proper track days. And,
it was great because they moved past the point of just being a game, didn't they? They became like an industry standard. These guys set the bar for racing.
Exactly. And it was always that thing of obviously being the real racing simulator. That was like one of the quotes, wasn't it? Where obviously it is just like driving a real car. And like, I mean, honestly, when I was learning to drive, I used to play Gran Turismo. And like get honestly,
I'm glad he
we can tell, Dave.
He didn't quite get the right GT game there. I think he meant to say A at the end. I learned on GTA, me.
Well, I am from Manchester, mate.
Just Dave runs over to Mikado. Get out!
Now, how do you start the car where you cross the wires? Make sure no one's looking.
Yeah, you got to smash the window first. Yeah, pull the guy out and drag him on the street, and then you can start it.
I think this is like the second episode where we've not painted Manchester in the best light.
People know. Everyone knows.
Well, it's not Gorton.
To our American listeners, honestly, England and Manchester, not that bad. It's worse.
But yeah, I mean, did any of you guys ever actually do that? Like,
what? Steal a car?
no,
all the time, every week, mate. That's how I got to college.
You don't want to rephrase that, Dave.
No, you're the one who said it. No, but like, obviously, with the licenses and stuff like that, like,
sort of like learning your braking distances.
Like braking
like
distances
that.
and stuff like that. I mean, they were very realistic. So I mean, you could actually learn quite.
Turning up to your driving lesson, like, excuse me, I play GTA. I think I fucking know how to drive. I play Gran Turismo, mate. I think I fucking know how to drive. Get out of the way.
Gets in the car and goes, "Where's the controller? I can't drive with this."
Yeah,
it worked. At the end of the day, it worked. I passed first time, so.
Listen, so did I, Dave. So let's just put it out. Listeners don't know, but when you get in Dave's car, his steering wheel has been replaced with a control pad.
Just Dave gets into his car like Formula 1 cars where they get in and put the wheel on. Dave gets in, puts his little controller on.
When I'm going over
that. Have you ever been in a car with Dave?
Going over the speed bumps, I've got like the rumbles.
It's like, it's so realistic. Like,
this is sick, mate.
We're all in the back crying, holding on to the handles for dear life.
Is that petrol I smell? It's a wall of flames behind them. Oh god.
That was the thing about the Gran Turismo games, though. They, like you said, Dave, before. I think, Adam, you said it as well, the focus on the realism of the game.
I just wanted to touch on that as well. So, like, the marketing, like you were talking about the marketing of the game and stuff and how well they did with the offering the driving school, the rally track day, sorry.
Yeah.
Some of their marketing as well was focused around the game having sick graphics at night time.
Yeah.
So, like, the cover's a dark cover, which no other game would have done at the time. Everything was like daylight. Look at the polygons on the screen.
Yeah, it was
these
cool,
guys,
wasn't
like,
it?
Because of this environmental mapping, and they could get the light perfect on the car and the reflections okay. They focus more on the nighttime. So all their, I actually I say this a lot. Very vividly remember opening like magazines back in the day and seeing the shots for Gran Turismo. Well, yeah, centre page. That's. My mum thought I had a PlayStation magazine.
Unlike now, it's sort of like.
My parents thought I had a PlayStation magazine, but inside that was
Playboy.
Yeah.
It's called Jugs.
Yeah. Dave, he was a higher class. It was escort.
I had no standards, mate. It was anything. It was the scraps that I'd find in the park.
That had burned. Set on fire.
A bit sticky.
Oh.
Pre-used.
And we've lowered the tone.
This has turned into another Dreamers episode.
But anyway, I remember seeing the marketing and actually being impressed because everything again was like all the other racing games all looked the same, but these stood out because their marketing was based around the night shots. So because they were able to make it look so good, like it helps them stand out even more. So yeah, they seem to have the marketing techniques like spot on at the time.
I wouldn't mind though, but even on the PS1, those graphics looked back in the day. We've said this many times. And at the time, the games looked phenomenal to us, and now they look like Dave has said many times. You give that to a kid now, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" But going back and looking at it, it still looks really good for what it was at the time. And then you look at how the PS1 is going up to like the more recent release of GT Sport.
Well,
the quality that they've put into this game is just beyond anything I've ever seen.
Apparently, I didn't own it, so I never managed to complete the game. But apparently, if you completed the game, there was, it gave you the ability to play the game in 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
So like that's like standard now, and that's what everyone wants. Like nowadays, it has to be minimum of 60 frames.
Yeah.
They did it on a PS1.
Just
to show, just purely to show that they could do it. They couldn't do it for the whole game because the file size would have been too big.
Killed it.
Yeah, but for this bonus thing at the end, he was able to play it in 60 frames a second.
That's mad. I never even knew that.
Well, I'm saying with this, we go through.
If I chatted bullshit there, please leave.
Leave comments. Leave comments down below.
What the fuck is he on about?
This guy's crazy. Get him off.
I am pretty tired, so I could have been crossing games there at the same time.
Yeah, it was Spyro again.
Yeah.
Going through the research of the game and obviously the steps that they put into making this. When he made the first one, obviously, it was released in Japan in '97, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
December,
5 months later, it was then released in the UK.
Just in time for my birthday. And did I get it for my birthday?
No.
Did I fuck?
He got Spyro.
So this is why he's bitter. This is why he's bitter about the game.
Yeah. But he was obviously when they made the game, he wasn't happy with the AI, although it was probably the most sophisticated AI on a game because you were with all the racing and things like that. Everything was brilliant. None of this like on Mario Kart where they drive off into a wall or something through the AI. You know, it was actually really, it raced you. It was like a proper person racing it. It felt so good. And he just wasn't happy with it. He said in the time that it took them to develop the game, I think it was, let me have a quick look at my notes here because it's my head. So yeah, it took 5 years to develop the first game. And he said within the first 5 years of him developing the game, sort of like Adam this now, he felt like he was at home for 4 days out of those 5 years. So he didn't stop, you know. And
there was only a team. There was only 20 of them.
Yeah, there was a massive team. But watching some video clips of where they're talking, like some documentaries, when they've started making the other games and things like that, and you see the amount of detail that they put into these cars and the environment. They're not just focusing on the one thing of the car; they're looking at everything. You know, they want to know what.
Were they were they the first ones as well for the second one? You know, I'm not sure if they were the first ones to do it, but they actually physically went to the tracks and literally drove the cars that are in the games around the tracks and put stuff inside the car to detect the motion and stuff as they were going. So they could get the G-force and they could like any little movement like as the car would so that they could apply that and like the driving style of the car so they could make it more realistic because every car is different obviously and handles different. So they actually physically drove those round tracks and around the real tracks that are in the actual games as well to see how they would handle.
I remember seeing something with Gran Turismo 2 as well. Weren't they like really pressed for time with Gran Turismo 2 and there was a lot of bugs? There was a lot of bugs.
They wanted to get it. They wanted to develop it and get it out as quick as possible.
There's a lot of bugs, and then I keep going on about this environmental mapping, but then they fucked it up on the second one.
On the second one, I know there was a lot of trouble with the Gran Turismo 2 where.
It's just that we've talked about it on many episodes in the past. Like, it's just another example of the game did amazing. Fucking get another one out now.
Exactly.
And then they just release something unpolished.
Like, that was the thing with the makers of Gran Turismo. After a while, they got given their own freedom to decide how long it took them to make a game. The only thing is, though, games always got pushed back, especially Gran Turismo games. It's like when they launched Gran Turismo 4, they promised online play. Or was it GT5? It was one or the other. They promised online play with it at the same time. And it didn't come out on the day of the game, which was promised. It came out months and months and months after. And it didn't hit the mark that they were hoping for. But the online play was actually quite good because for the first time, you weren't just racing the AI, you were racing real people. They were thinking differently to the way you would think about how to get around a track. But I don't know. I think it was just something about the GT games that they offered more compared to other racing games. Now, obviously, the only other game that I think racing game-wise that comes close is Forza on the Xbox, because I'm not going to lie, even that looks phenomenal. You know, looking at them side by side, it's like they've got the same engine in the way.
They had to come up with something to compete, didn't they? Because obviously with Gran Turismo being a PlayStation exclusive, obviously Xbox needed something, you know, to compete.
Forza's another game that I've never really played. Obviously, when the new Forza came out, Forza Horizon, I downloaded it because it's free on Game Pass, and I must admit, graphically, it is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
But I haven't done anything on it. I just like casually just get the car and just drive around like go to a hilltop and just sit back and like.
He's like, gonna go out for a drive, love.
Yeah, that's literally all I do. But yeah, I don't think I know it's not as difficult on a driving game because there's not necessarily like other people to animate and there's no speech and everything, so it's just purely the car. They can focus on other things, and that's why driving games generally always do have the best graphics, because cars are a little bit easier to animate than people. But the graphics on that new Forza, I've never seen anything like it. It's absolutely insane. And it's all about the color palette again. The way the light glistens off everything. That's the thing. That's the key to making something look real. That's why GT1 still stands up, like what you were saying before. That's why that still stands up, because the lighting is almost perfect on it.
Yeah. Well, here's one about Gran Turismo as well. Something that we still use today when we think of PlayStation mostly is the DualShock controllers. Gran Turismo was the first game to incorporate the DualShock controller, and from there on out, every game made focused on using a DualShock controller. So
was it the first one?
It is, Gran Turismo was the first one to do it. So obviously, because you had the rumble feature when driving around corners, like you say, you could feel it. I can only imagine what that's going to be like now.
So it wasn't the first one to use analog, but it was the first one to use
the DualSense. So I think
the rumble thing.
Yeah. So when you think about it now, with like the PS5 controller, I'm not sure about the new Xbox controller. Does it have the haptic feedback as well?
It just rumbles a bit. It's not as I've heard that. I've not played the PS5 yet, but I've heard that the PS5 one is more.
Oh, it's so nice.
Sophisticated, with the haptic feedback.
Tell us, Glenn, how is it?
Come round and play. It's fine. No, the other day I was obviously I've said it before on the episodes that at the moment I'm currently just playing PS5 games that have got that haptic feedback control system. You know, where you can feel every movement, every step when you're pulling the triggers, and you can feel the resistance on it. I decided to play Ratchet and Clank, and feeling the haptic controls on that, where you're running around and doing different things.
I've heard as well that you can actually you can set the trigger so depending on how far down you press and stuff will determine. I know, that's pretty. I'm sure the Xbox does that.
But that's the.
Ignore me again. Ignore me. I'm sure the Xbox does it.
Just put in the loading screen again, Glenn.
But that's
he gets 5 or 10 good minutes, and then he does.
He starts going. I can see him now talking, and he stops and goes. Oh, we're still recording.
I keep saying something, and my whole train of thought is just gone. I'm like, what was I saying? And then I just say the first thing that pops into my head, and then I realise what I was originally saying. So it's just, I am trying to persuade my missus to let me buy a PS5 when the baby comes, so that I can look after the baby in the room.
It's a baby's toy. It's fine.
Father of the year, right here.
Like, well, you want me to sit in there and feed him and watch after him? Put a PS5 in there, and I'll be in there.
I'll gladly sit in there.
Just throw it in the door, and he goes chasing after it like a dog.
It's when she looks in one day, and the three of us are all sat there playing it. Where's the baby? What baby?
Baby's on the tree out the window. Squirrel's got it, carrying him away.
That even happened.
Adam coming downstairs one day going, can't find the baby. He's graduated.
I know, yeah.
Oh, well done. I'm going to go back and play my game. It's a dangerous thing. But yeah, I mean, we haven't done this for a while. We haven't sort of looked about where we want to see going from the series in the future. But Dave, are you expecting much from the new GT game when it comes out?
Well, not really. I can't really see it going.
It's just going to be the same thing.
It will be the same. It will be the same. I mean, obviously, you've got other games like the Test Drive series where it's more free roam. You're more free to drive around and
that's becoming
buy houses and things like that. They're getting quite popular. Those types of games.
The next step now, isn't it?
Exactly.
To make it more immersive
there's still like obviously the realism and obviously the cars and the graphics still look sick in those kind of games as well.
Yeah.
I think.
To be fair though, that's what those games were missing. Is like a person, because you weren't money in the game. Yes, you did your car up, but you should, like, if it just added that feature to, like you said, like buy a house and do your drive up and make a nice garage for it, like where you can store the car and like other little things.
It does add a bit more, wouldn't it? But I mean, fair enough to GT, like obviously sticking to the guns, but you get to that point where you've got to keep up with everyone else.
It's just the same games, isn't it?
I know they were one of the ones that started it, but again, now they're playing catch up.
The thing is, they sort of tried to do something new with every game they launched. Look at Gran Turismo 6. It gave you the ability to drive the prototype cars that were never going to get made, and it's the only game that did that at the time. Is you had all these deals with all these companies.
A novelty. It's fine, but once you've driven those cars once or twice. It's just the same as every other game. So all that the games are doing at the moment is graphics. They're trying to outdo each other with graphics, which is great because obviously things are looking more realistic. But somebody needs to take that next step. So, I'd like to see it in space. Just put fucking rockets on the cars.
Well, it's like, to be fair, saying that, remember like the Wipeout games? Did you ever play like Wipeout?
Yeah.
Like that? I mean, they're kind of like ships and stuff like that. I mean, that'd actually be a good episode to do. Actually, I'd like to do one of those.
What I want to see going forward, and this would actually get me back into like racing and actually playing racing games, is VR's coming in more and more now.
Yeah.
So obviously these games are eventually going to go into the VR headset, so you'll actually be in the car driving. I know there is rigs available that you can sit in and control, but they need to make an affordable rig. Surely they can make an affordable rig now that handles supremely. It's not like back in the day where the technology was new and you got those little shitty ones that you put on your desk and they had no feedback whatsoever. Surely the technology is around now to make this a possibility. So make an affordable rig, something that can fold away and you can whip out, you sit in it, it gives you realistic handling. Obviously you're not going to get the movement because that would require hydraulics and stuff. Have you ever seen have you ever seen that video of the guy who built his own racing rig with hydraulics on it?
Yeah, so
oh my god. That's the actual future. Like that's the next level arcade. Like when that becomes a thing in arcades and you're actually in the car and it feels like you're going up and down hills because of the hydraulics.
That's pretty sick actually.
But at home for now, just make affordable for the price that you can. Obviously not just for a controller, but just a little bit more than what it would cost for a controller. Obviously you got to buy the headset separately, but why is that not a thing? Why can't you buy the whole rig together?
Be fully immersive.
I don't want to spend fucking £600 on a rig or £1,000 on a rig. Give it me now for free.
For 20 quid. That's his Manx side coming out.
But imagine how many they'd sell.
Give it me or I'll rob it.
Have you guys seen? I come out and it's on bricks.
It's just like, give me that rig or I will have you.
Like they used to take the tyres off and leave your car on bricks, whereas now I come out and there's just a pile of bricks. The rig's gone. Have you guys seen the treadmills that people have been developing? Like, there's a lot of indie developers like making these little treadmills so you can walk around in the VR world. That's the future of gaming right there. That's where it's going. So racing, it should be easier. Just give me a fucking rig that I can sit in. Now, just do it now, so I can buy it. I'll play it, and then
maybe some guy watch this now going, shit. I have to go and make this.
People are going to say,
I must make it for him.
People will say, "Oh, these already exist." Yes, but not that I can afford.
How much have you got? I've got about £2.
£50 or less. There we go.
No, but for under surely he could be able to make something for around about the £100, maybe £200 mark.
You can basically all you'll get for that is a cardboard box, and you can sit in it and make your own noises. It's like
that's what I do now.
Dave will stand behind you and sort of shake the box.
Yeah, I'll push him down the stairs.
Have you seen that? The dad that does that with the kid, he puts the kid in a box, puts a VR headset on it, and the kid's like on a roller coaster game, and he's moving the box around you can see the footage on the TV, so he's moving it around. That's quality. That. Why can't someone do that with me? I know I'm like 6'5" and £300, but still.
Well, isn't that just what they've done it with the 4DX cinema screens with the chairs that move?
I've not done that yet, but I've done 4D experiences. You know, you go to like a theme park and they have one there. They'll wank. I'm not interested in that at
all. You've heard it here first. Reviewed by Adam.
Also, another thing we like to do on the show is we like to ask you guys what you think about the games, some of your memories as well. And I actually have a list this time. You know, it's not just reading off Facebook.
And you printed it.
I printed it.
Yeah. Who the fuck has a printer?
Work has a printer. You know, like when you guys actually work, this is what I do at work. I don't work.
A printer? I
see like 3 people a day, you know? And that's the people I work with. So, just so we're getting some of the memories of some people out there. So, everyone who did comment on our posts on Facebook and things like that, thank you so much for taking the time. So, if I do get any of the name wrong, I butcher everyone's names to try and say, can't even see Abe's properly. I keep calling him Abe, he's Dave, and you know, it's one of those. He gives a D later. So, I've got.
Not you.
It took you a while, didn't it? Okay, now. So I've got Vardos Pythagoras. He's said he's got lots of memories. It was one of the games that came with the console when he bought it. Yes. Going from the Mega Drive to the PS1 was like going from night to day from a graphics perspective. It developed the skills of how to drive fast and how to control your car at speed and understanding how cars respond in a very different way. We were saying that before of how the cars maneuver and change when you go around corners and you see everything change. He's put, I can't remember how many times I've completed the game using different cars, both on the original console and now using emulation software. We do the same.
Use emulation software all the fucking time. Use it right now.
Yeah. But one true god killer car on Gran Turismo is the Mitsubishi GTO Twin Turbo. So we've even got mentioned a good car
recommendation.
There. Recommendation. Let us know in the links below if that's a good car. You know, I don't know.
I trust his word more than yours, Glenn. So.
I know, yeah. So do I.
I know, yeah.
Random strangers that you speak to on Facebook.
Just before you go into the next one as well, you just reminded me. I didn't know about this driving school thing because I didn't own the games, so I never knew this was a thing. So maybe that might have been something that I would have been interested in and probably would have enjoyed in the game a little bit. Maybe.
Well, go back and play. Go back and play.
He had a loading moment right at the end, and everything just stopped.
I mean, I know you said that you needed it to help you pass your test, Dave. I didn't need that. I just naturally am good at driving.
Natural talent.
But maybe if I would have played that game, I might have got 100% instead of 95%.
This natural talent that he had, literally, he used to follow me home, every now and again, and I think you drove ahead of me or behind me or something and crashed your car. I remember you doing that straight into the back of some old woman's car or something.
Listen, right.
I can see now in his leather driving gloves.
Yeah.
I'd been driving for 2 weeks.
Literally 2 weeks, and he destroyed his car.
And
sounds more like GTA than GT.
We were leaving college and going home, and I remember it was me, you, and Fanta were driving, and we was on a 40 road, and the lights were on green when I last looked, right? So I wanted to change lanes, so I turned to the side, like to check my mirrors, and our other friend Fanta was at the side of me, and he wouldn't move. He slowed down to make sure I couldn't get in that lane. So obviously, because I'd only just started driving, I didn't have the mental awareness yet to think I should look forward again. I kept looking at the side, and I was like, "Get out the fucking way!" I'm pointing, and then he pointed his finger straight ahead, and as I turned, I just went bang right into the back of someone. And then he drove off and fucking left me. And this car that I hit, I'm not joking, right? There was two of them in the car. By the time I'd made a phone call, there was about 30 people, like, claiming they were all in the car. I had a huge claim, and I was like, ringing the insurance company, like, how can you let this amount of people, like, claim on my accident? There wasn't 30 people in the fucking car. But anyway, I did it mad, so I couldn't really, like, I couldn't fight it too much.
Dave's walking over going, I was in the back of that car, mate.
I got whiplash just hearing about it.
Dave was in the car with me, actually, another time that I crashed. But this time it wasn't my fault. Somebody hit me, right? In uni, yeah, there was this back way in Huddersfield, and there's this really steep, windy road. No, you can go back to that in a second. Stop having a little bitch fit.
It's just like, shut up, Glenn. Shut up.
So as we're coming down this road, the weather is fucking horrendous. Do you remember the rain? It was
it was horrible.
So we're coming down, and we're coming up the hill, and this car's coming down. And as I come around the bend to start going up the straight, this car can't stop and just fucking plows straight into the side of me and knocks me into a big ditch.
It was like a big, massive. There was like a cliff. There was a drop.
Yeah,
we got knocked through the cliff. We were like, oh,
and then, so he got out of the car and checked on us, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then, luckily, I had a photo. It was back when we had camera phones, but the cameras weren't very good. But I was able to just snap a picture of his license plate, and the guy fucked off. And then apparently, when the police came round to talk to me, they were like, "Oh, we just got scared because of your size." It's like, fuck off. He ran me into a ditch and fucked off. And then Dave claimed compensation against me.
Of course I did.
Good lad. Good lad.
I mean, you actually stuck with it, didn't you? You went all the way with the
yeah, but
trial. And
you was
like
you were like, I'm either gonna get it off him or you.
Yeah, it was just like they were just like, would you like to settle on £1,000? I was like, oh yeah, go on then. So I didn't have to do nothing. I just took my grand and ran.
£1,000, you say?
Oh, that bit of whiplash.
And then if you were there the next week, Dave's on that same corner the next week waiting for someone to ram into him again. Like,
he's just sat with his car.
He's in another car. He's in someone else's car trying to get them rammed into.
Yeah, Glenn, just go up this road over here.
I know this great shortcut, Glenn.
And that's why I'm a millionaire now.
Why are you funding the show then, Dave?
Anyway, we digress. Go back to the comments. Sorry, that was a good last comment. That.
I know, I like it.
Sorry, I forgot his name because I'm tired. But
that's fine. Pythagoras.
Pythagoras.
We've got Peter Greenacre, who has said he still owns Gran Turismo 1 to 4, which I think that in itself is pretty good. You know, still owning those games. I mean, I've only got like a handful of PS1 games left. I mean,
I still own the same boxes that I wore in 1998. So.
These are my lucky boxer shorts.
I'm joking. I'm kidding. No, it is impressive to keep him in good condition for that long. My boxes are not in good condition. I can tell you that.
We have Jamez, who mentions that he still has Gran Turismo 2 for the PS1. What were you thinking? It's so glitchy and buggy. We have Larry, who says he got his copy of Gran Turismo the same day that he got Metallica Master of Puppets on cassette. Hardcore, love it. Nice. Now I can't separate them. I love Gran Turismo, hated the licenses, but loved the rewards for getting them all gold. I feel like I was much more patient back then. Adam, so you just would have been
sounds
useless
like-
at this, wouldn't you?
That sounds like somebody who can't drive.
Chris has said, I remember my dad and I played a lot. We got the Mitsubishi Twin Turbo. That's the second time that's been mentioned now.
So it's obviously a very good car.
It's clearly a good car then. I mean, I'm going to have to go back and play it again and just go for his car.
And cheat and get the good
Yeah,
car.
cheat.
straight away.
Yeah, I ain't going to play it properly. I'm going to put like Game Shark codes in, you know. Ain't nobody got time for that. Also got Gareth, who says that he's just recently gone out and bought Gran Turismo 1 and 2 from CEX. That's... Yeah.
CEX. That's another store I've not
Remember that?
heard for years.
I know. Get him off Amazon, like get him off Amazon like a
Heard
normal
for
person.
years. I haven't bought a physical game for, I'm going to say, touching on 10 years now.
We don't buy games anymore, rent. Again, big shout out to Boomerang Rentals right there.
Oh, shut up, Glenn.
Love me.
It's just desperate.
Oh,
Glenn.
we're going from there. Have you guys got anything else you want to say about Gran Turismo?
Let me refer to my notes. Looks at blank screen.
He's just like literally a blank screen. There's nothing.
No, he's just got on his screen. Gran Turismo is a PlayStation 1 racing game. It has cars in it.
I've literally got Gran Turismo came out in 1997 on PS1. And that's it.
So
He's just been practicing writing his name, just adding.
And then it's just loads of Z's after that where I fell asleep on my keyboard.
well, if we've got nothing else, it's time for the bit that everyone loves the most, the quiz.
Yeah.
We need some
Nobody's
quiz
ever
music.
said. No one's even told us if they like the quiz or not yet.
No,
I
So
know,
we're just going to keep doing it until someone tells us otherwise.
We like it. We enjoy the quiz, but we do need some quiz music. You know,
We are going to
Okay.
get some actual professional cards made at some point, rather than just using these scrap pieces of paper.
and I'm going to get some music composed for the quiz.
And we're going to make some icons. We're going to make it professional.
We're going all out. You know, we spared no expense. We did because we got no money. So.
I mean, I got this paper out of the bin to write the letters on. So
Literally,
I mean-
we're so poor.
I had to print everything at work. You know.
To buy these post-it notes, I didn't have to eat.
Are you guys ready for the quiz then?
I think so.
It's going to be. I've got a funny feeling that most of this is just going to be guesses. So.
Yeah.
Okay, question 1. 7 track locations have the most appearances across the 12 main commercial Gran Turismo games. Which of these is not one of them? Is it A, Laguna Seca, B, the Fuji Speedway, C, Autumn Rings, or D, Route 5?
Oh, shit. I have no idea. I'm
3,
just going to take a guess.
2,
Yeah, I don't know that
1.
one.
D.
You both said D. You both got it right.
Yeah.
Hey! That's the only one that didn't sound like a racetrack to me.
Yeah.
So you both got that one right. Question number 2. Excluding the musical soundtrack, who was the first voice to speak to players in a full Gran Turismo title? Was it A, Tom Brooks,
What?
Fucking no.
I couldn't know this.
B, Jay Leno, C, Jeff Gordon, or D, Lewis Hamilton? Would you like me to go through them again?
No.
No, it doesn't
It's not
really
gonna
make a
make any
difference.
difference.
Will it?
Okay, so you ready in 3, 2, 1.
I have a feeling
I'm
it's
gonna go with
D,
B.
but I've gone with B as well. I
You
reckon
are
it's-
both correct.
Hey! I
Hey!
always said it was B. Always said it.
You know, right?
Surprisingly good at this.
I know what I was going to say. When I was making this quiz, I was like, oh, God, even I don't know these.
Yes, Aid, we're on the
We're both so equally shit that we're both equally great at it. Like,
Okay, question number 3. And remember, folks, if you are playing at home, let us know your scores in the comments below. So, question 3. Each of Gran Turismo 2's car dealership city menu screens was based on a real-world city map. Which of these is not among them? Is it A, West City Paris, B, North City London, C, East City Tokyo, or D, South City New York?
Just to be fair, you don't have to say East or whatever. Just say the letters and the places again. You don't have to say like East or West. Just say.
So A, Paris.
Yeah.
B, London.
Right.
C, Tokyo, or
Okay.
D, New York.
Okay.
So
I'm just going to take a pure guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got to be guessing on this one.
I know there's definitely one of them in it. I just don't know about the other three.
I know one of them's the answer. So
One of them is definitely the answer. I'm sure of it.
It's either A, B, C, or D.
I've got a feeling it is either A or B.
So, well,
I don't know which
you ready?
one.
In 3, 2, 1.
That one. B.
You are both incorrect.
Oh,
It's
so it's
A.
I knew it was B.
If you'd gone with A, Dave, you would have got it.
Oh, I showed the wrong side of the thing. Like. Can
Don't
I just
be
have
trying
the
that old
point,
trick.
please?
I did actually say A or B.
Okay, question number 4. Dave, you sort of touched on this earlier. How many cars were available in the first Gran Turismo game? Is it A, 200, B, 140, C, 90, or D, 75?
Just say those numbers
Say
again.
the numbers again.
200, 140, 90, or 75?
Okay.
So
I kind of remember what Dave said. So if he was wrong about what he said before, then this answer's going to be wrong.
So in 3, 2, 1.
It's going to go with that one.
B.
It is B. Yes, Adam is
Yes! How did you? Dave got his own thing wrong, his own facts.
Oh, what the... I actually forgot what I said.
See, all that loading time that I've had during this episode, it's because I'm taking the information in, you see.
I can't believe that.
I do need to make sure I didn't put the quiz on my Google Drive, don't I? That everyone has access to. It's all right, Dave. There's still time.
Oh, that was poor, that.
Question number 5. Gran Turismo 2 boasted more cars than the first game, but how many was there?
Oh, for
A.
fuck's sake, I don't know this one.
780. B. 973. C. 650. Or D. 597.
I haven't got a clue.
I'm just going to go for another pure guess here.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 3, 2, 1.
C.
You are both incorrect.
Which one is it?
What was
A.
it?
780.
Damn.
Okay. Which Gran Turismo is the only game to have 2 playable discs? Was it A, Gran
I already know
Turismo
this one.
2, B, Gran Turismo 4, C, Gran Turismo, or D, Gran Turismo Sport?
Better make sure I show the right fucking letter.
Yeah, make sure you get the right one.
Wait, sorry, just tell me the thingy again. What was just read about?
So, GT2,
yeah,
GT4, GT, or GT Sport?
Okay.
So in 3, 2, 1, you are both correct.
We said A.
You did both say A, yes.
Yes, A.
Okay.
Because you got an orange one and a blue one.
Which GT game has sold the most units with a whopping 14,890,000 copies? Is it A, GT PSP, B, GT Concept, C, GT4, or D, GT3 A-Spec?
I haven't heard of All of those. I'm just gonna go for the most logical one for me.
Okay, so in 3, 2, 1.
C.
D.
Dave, you are correct with D.
Yay. Yay. I brought it
What
back.
was D
I brought
again?
it back.
D was GT3 A spec. The
Yes.
one that came out on the PS2.
The only one I've played.
Right. Okay.
It was the best one.
Okay, this one's going to be a tricky one. So, question number 8. Gran Turismo 4, sorry about that, was one of 4 games to output at the highest quality the PS2 could handle. But what was it? Now, bearing in mind, overall, this was only available on the NTSC format of the game. Is it A, 570i, B, 720, C, 1080i, or D, 480?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I know which. I think I know which one it is, but I'm going to take a gamble and go for a different one because I can't remember if this was available when the PS2 was out. But I'm gonna take a gamble and go for it.
All right. So
can you just one more time? Can you just read
them
that
out
again to make sure I put
570i, 720, 1080i, or 480? Bearing in mind, this is not the UK PAL version of the game.
Yeah,
this was the NTSC version of the game. Okay.
I'm just gonna guess this one.
So in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go with that one.
You are both correct.
Yeah.
So it was
I couldn't
C,
remember
1080i.
Because I thought 720 seems a bit too low.
I know.
For it to be like, oh, look at these graphics. Like, look at the power.
Because that was that was still a PS2 game. That's really impressive.
Well, I told you on the PS1 he was able to do 60 frames. So like,
we're not doing bad. We're
no, you're really not. You're tied.
Right,
you're tied.
We're not doing bad.
Okay. On which GT game could you start to pick the colour of the car instead of unlocking the colour variants? Is it A, GT2, B, GT4, C, GT6, or D, GT5? Not only is this a quiz, it's informative.
I have no idea.
Oh, you're going to have to read them out again.
Okay, so we've got GT2, GT4, GT6, or GT5.
I haven't got a clue.
Okay, so in 3,
doesn't matter which one I put.
Yeah, it doesn't
1.
B.
D.
Dave is correct.
Yeah.
No! That late? It took him that long to allow you to change the fucking colour of a car? For fuck's sake.
He's going to be even more angry now.
Question number 10. This is the last question.
I fucked it at the end.
I should have just ended it there and gone for the fucking thing, shouldn't I? Right. Before GT was a racing game, what did Polyphony Digital make racing game wise? Was it A, Road Rash, B, Asphalt, C, Motor Toon Grand Prix, or D, Burnout?
I think I actually know this one.
Oh no! Oh no! You're gonna have to read them out again.
A, Road Rash, B, Asphalt, C, Motor Toon Grand Prix, or D, Burnout? So, in 3, 2, 1. You are both correct.
Fuck off, Dave. I knew the answer. You just guessed and got it right. Fuck off.
So, this week's winner is Dave with 7, Adam with 6.
Well, considering Dave's supposed to be the expert.
You like racing games too, shut the fuck up.
Overall, though, guys, you did really well.
What's the bonus question, Glenn?
Okay, so this is where you give me a rough number, and I tell you who's closest.
Oh, okay.
If every copy of Gran Turismo ever sold was to fill up an American football stadium, how many would it fill? Now, this is not including, obviously, 7 is not released, so it's not including that. So, like I say, it's a rough number. So
1.2.
1.2 stadiums.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave, you want to have a guess?
I'd just say 1.
Wait, how big is this football stadium? Are you talking?
Yeah, I know.
Are you talking the Etihad? Are you talking Old Trafford?
American football stadium.
Yes, but they all vary in size as well.
No.
Not an American
Has
football
one got a larger
stadium.
kitchen than the other? Can it take more?
It's just an American football stadium.
This is a stupid question, Glenn.
I don't give a fuck, Glenn.
No one gives a shit, Glenn.
Well,
Shut the fuck up.
Dave said 1, Adam said 1.5, so Adam would have won because he was closest. Because the answer was 356.
What? That is stupid.
It was the closest to the right answer, unfortunately, Dave.
How big are these football stadiums? Do you like fucking
American football stadiums? You've seen American
Tonka
football?
toys? Are they little models of stadiums?
I'm just going off what the research was that I read, okay?
Oh, God. That was
So...
What a waste of time.
I wasn't far off. I was only 300 and odd out.
Oh, God. So, yes, on that note, I think it's time to end this week's episode.
We will get I can't keep using this piece of shit. We need to get some proper cards made. Shut up, Dave, with your fucking post-it notes. Mine are trash notes. So,
and this week, I didn't have to make any. So I'm happy.
We'll get some proper cards done at some point. I'm not telling you when, but...
Yeah, he's not setting a time frame because it could be this year, could be next year.
Maybe we'll get them ready for when we do our first in-person episode.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I won the quiz. I'm happy now.
If I had proper cards, Dave, I would have won.
Yeah, it would have been.
It's the cards' fault.
Yeah, it's obviously the cards, obviously.
Anyway.
Oh, fucking hell.
But yeah, we will end there this week. Remember, if you have liked the show, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Leave comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Do you enjoy the quiz? Do you not enjoy the quiz? You know, that sort of thing. I have to
apologise for my long pauses.
Yeah, there's many brain farts today.
Yeah, but for those watching and listening, you may not see those long pauses. They may get cut out as we edit.
We might add sound effects in. We don't know.
Might as well add a loading screen on top.
Yeah, but please just have the loading screen. It would be so much better.
Yeah.
What did you say before? The sound like do.
So, from myself, Glenn, my co-host Adam, and my co-host Big Dave.
Bye.
We shall see you next time on the next episode of From Dusty Couches to Broken Discs.
Later.
Goodbye.
Yeah. I should do that. It's my shoulder.
I'm so fucking tired.
I think
my eyes.
It wasn't too bad. I think.
No, it's actually alright. I kind of enjoyed
it. There was a point where I had to get off the screen because I thought I was going to start, like my eyes were going to water and I was going to look like I was crying because I was that tired.
I love this game so much.
They just started burning. I was like, oh my God.